I'm here to give you 5 interesting pieces of information regarding AI Studio that I think you should know. Now, I'm going to give these in no particular order. So this isn't like priority 1 to priority 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are just questions that I keep getting from my affiliates inside of HighLevel saying, Ray, how does this work? What happens here? And how do I get this set up and things like that? So I wanted to at least bring this to you. It should only take a few minutes, but here are the things that I found out are the most interesting that if you're going to be using the new AI Studio tool inside of HighLevel, you definitely should know and understand. So first things first, some of these may be basic, but again, some people may be starting from zero. So please forgive me if that's the case. So right now, if you come in here, I already have a few projects built inside that I'm going to look for. Now, I've already done some of the coding, if you will, because I didn't want to sit back and have you guys wait for AI Studio to build it and process it and things like that. So I'm just going to walk through it along the way. So the first thing is each particular one of these project files is, again, where you would actually build a particular website. Now, please understand everything about that website, the forms, everything, the connections, everything exists inside of this particular project file. So if you're going to be doing this and you click on these little 3 buttons, I'm going to try to blow this up. You click on these 3 buttons and you come here and delete that, you're deleting everything, the website, the project, the forms, all the work that you've done here. So you're literally deleting everything. So just to make sure that you know about this I actually had 2 questions for this pop up. Where is the actual file? Where's the data for the website inside of AI Studio? And it all exists within this particular project file. So that was the first thing. I just want to make sure people understand. The second thing is, if you're going to build this right now, I don't know how you want to do things, but typically, if you're building sites and you're going to be using this for customer prospecting, or you're going to be just building this out in dev, and then eventually you want to move this, move this to a particular sub account, this will be up to you. I don't know if you want to build it in a dev environment first, build it, get it working up to where you need to, and then move it, because you might have multiple members all working on it. Or if you just want to create a sub account for your particular client and have that particular person put this AI Studio project directly in their sub account. But regardless, one of the things that's cool is if you do have something similar, if you have one project for one customer and you want to move it, there's a clone feature. So there's a nice little clone feature here that they do allow you to move it between different sub accounts. So right now you could just simply give it a name, include project history. I definitely would, because that right there would probably keep all your versioning of your websites and allows you to go back to a certain version if you wanted to. But I think that's pretty cool. So if you don't know it, you can take one and clone this completely to another sub account within your thing. That's another thing that you can do. So while we're in here in these little 3 little dot areas, one of the other things I want to come in here is settings. Now, when building up these sites, this site right here is using vibe coding, which means it's building the site, but it doesn't build a typical website structure like it does whenever you create a website inside of HighLevel. When you create a website in HighLevel, it's creating it so that there's a backend structure called a sitemap file. And a sitemap file is just an XML file that keeps track of all of the different pages of your website, so that things like Google can understand when they look at your sitemap file, they can see and understand all the pages that are on your website, so that Google can properly go through and index them and then make that website come up on the search engine. So right now, by default, it doesn't do that until you come in and turn on some of the advanced search engine optimization functions inside here. So if you take a look here, I'm going to try to load this up just a little bit. But over here on the left-hand side, you see there is SEO area. So over here, just one of the things I want to make sure that you can understand is here, in order to get the SEO, to get the sitemap file generated. Once the sitemap file is generated, then you can import that into your Google Search Console and have Google, submit it up to Google to have it indexed. But I'm not going to go through all that right now. I just simply was just letting you know that this exists. But before you can do that, your project, again, if you look at these steps, they have to be published. You have to connect to a custom domain. You cannot leave it in the default domain. So you must connect it somewhere to a custom domain. And then after you give it a custom domain, then if you come up here to this toggle switch and turn on this advanced SEO functions, whenever you do that, you can then come down here to the bottom and then generate your sitemap file, things like that, and then take that information and insert that into Google Search Console to have the site indexed so that Google starts understanding it and can do its search engine optimization on the whole site and copy and everything that you built. So again, I'm not here to help you understand how to do that. I just simply wanted to let you know that this was available. And if you're building the site, then you need to be able to do this in order to get it registered with Google, in order for it to search it, index it, and then come up on search engine results. So that was another thing. So I believe that's 3 that we have so far. And I said 5. Let me just make sure, check my notes here. Let me come in here to one project here that I've got. One of the newest features that you may or may not have heard about already is that there's now a visual editor inside of the AI Studio Builder. This is pretty cool. Kudos to the HighLevel development team for this. I know this was something that before, if you ever wanted to change the code, you have to come here into this code view. And then inside this code view, you'd have to sit back and try to figure this stuff out. But in order to do that, you really have to understand the site structure, what these files are for. And most people, including myself, just don't know how to do that. Never gotten that technical into website building. But if you come down here to the bottom, and I'm going to try to blow this up a little bit here. Let's see if we can move this over. You have this new visual edits button down here under Ask AI. So we're going to hit that and scroll back a little bit, and it's coming up with the site preview. So now what happens is that HighLevel, the developers, at least from my understanding, they built this so that you can make small visual edits to what's already there so that you don't have to sit back and vibe code every small little thing. If you want to touch something up, change a font, add a change text, things like that, you can just simply click on this, then come up here, succeed. I could put some exclamation marks on here, save it, and then boom. Now I don't have to vibe code, change this text in here to this text or something like that. I can simply come in here and do a visual editor for it. So again, kudos to HighLevel for being able to come in here and do visual edits. So whenever you do this, if you wanted to now or outside of visual edits, notice that it went back once I saved it, but you now have a visual editor. So that is pretty cool that you can come in here and do visual edits. Please make a note, the visual editor will only change or edit information already on the page. This is not a website builder, meaning you don't get the ability to have elements and drag elements onto the page. You'll still have to vibe code if you want something built, if you want something done for you, that will still have to be prompted. The visual editor is just for small changes, changing font colors, text, things like that, small edits that you want to be able to do without having to vibe code all of it. So just want to let you know and help you understand and explain that. Now, some of the other things I want to sit back and help you understand, and this is what is a little bit more, I would say, complicated or technical from some of my affiliates when they brought it up. This has actually brought up a couple different questions, but it was, how do you sit back and start adding contact forms and lead opt-in pages and stuff like that into the vibe code editor? Right now, there's a couple different ways that you can do that. So I'm just going to show you a couple of them, and I already have this here. I'm going to try to blow this up to let you see what happened here. If I can, you see, make sure this is good. But right now I was in here. This was the site that I already had created, but I came in here and said, create contact form. It was thinking, said where to put it, the homepage section or build it on a separate page. But if you want to, just simply put the word connect, survey, connect form, connect something like that, connect CRM. Now, unfortunately, you can't connect the CRM until there's something of like a contact form or something on the page in order for it to submit the information to. So you're not going to be able to connect it to the CRM, or at least I haven't gone away, unless you actually put a contact form on there first. But there are a couple of different ways, two different ways I know about that can do a contact form. Now, there are other people out there that are better at vibe coding than me. More power to you. I'm just trying to help those people out there that are trying to build things, help understand a few things that you may run into. So please take this for what it's worth. So I said build it on the homepage. It went through and did all this other information. So right now we connected. Once the form was on there, then it came up and prompted me as, oh, you have a contact form now. Boom, connect. Hey, do you want to connect to CRM? So connect the CRM. And when you connect the CRM button, I know you can't see it right now. It'll just be a blue button whenever you have a form on the page. It'll ask you, do you want to connect to a CRM? You can connect, and then that will connect to your local sub account that you have. Now, please keep in mind, I said earlier about developing the vibe coding on a sub account, on a dev sub account, and then transferring it into the production. Please make sure that you have all the vibe code connections and the form created in the sub account that you're going to be connecting to. You don't want to make all your connections in the dev and then try to move it, because then all the connections are going to be messed up and you're probably going to have problems. So anyway, just want to make sure I clarify that. But here's what the form that it gave me. I'm just going to move down here. So this is the form that it generated. Very simple, name, email. I wasn't specific. I could have said add these other form fields on there. But again, this is just trying to show you what's going to happen. Now, when you did this, when you created this form, it's going to ask you where to put it, ask you to connect to a CRM. And then when you look at this form now, when you submit information here, the contact record will now show up inside of your CRM once you connect. So that person will be created and so forth. Now, two things about that though. I'm going to show you here in just a minute. This is way one of creating the contact form. The second way is I've actually built a form inside of HighLevel, and rather than connecting the form from HighLevel, I just simply use the copy embed code built into the forms. No different than if you ever wanted to sit back and actually copy the code and put it on an external website. That right there is another way that you can actually do this. So if you come over here and take a look, it connected all this stuff and finished for the form tracking. I then come over here and added, please insert this code element into the page under the existing contact form. So I gave it just the embed code. I went into the sites, forms, form builder, opened the form, clicked on the code up in the top right. From there, I just copied the embed code, however you want to have it configured, and then said, put this code on the site under here. And this is exactly what it did. So here is the form here underneath here from HighLevel. So again, why would you do two different ones? What's the difference? Why would you do one versus the other? Here's the reason why. First of all, let me just finish this. It came down and finished everything. And then right now, if we wanted to, we can click on this and actually view the site. I'm going to blow this back out. So right now, here is the form, the page that I have with the two forms. So right now, if I wanted to do this, I would just say, take my word for it, that when you submit the information in these forms, it goes into the contact field of HighLevel. Here's the biggest thing that I want to sit back and make sure that you understand. It is how the automation works around those two forms. So right now, if you are looking to have automations built around the vibe coding site, the trigger for that workflow is not the same. So right now, if you're ever dealing with forms, then you know pretty much there is a form submitted. Everybody that's dealt with this has probably dealt with that trigger at one point, but a form submitted, you go down, you choose a particular form, add a filter, this form, choose whatever form you want. And then now every time there's a submission on that particular form, then that trigger will fire. So that's the common one. And that's the one that I had here under the bottom, that the one that's built into HighLevel, because I had the embed code put in here. Anything that's submitted here on this form will execute just like it is on an external website and sit back and trigger the workflow under the form submitted event. Now, with this event right here, there is now a new trigger that you need to add. This is not a form submitted trigger right here. So if you take a look at the documentation for it, right now, what you need to do is create what they call an external tracking event. So if you come here and you go to trigger, there is this external tracking event right here that now you need to add if you want to capture the event from one of those vibe coding sites. So right now, just to give you a heads up, if you click on this, you're going to get things like this. The event is any, you could choose, let me see if I can click on this. Event is any of, and then I just have form submitted or page viewed. So I have form submitted. External form is the contact form that we had. There's a couple of ones that I have on here, but you need to know what the form is called and choose the right form. But then this right here is the trigger that you would need in order to catch the automation from the vibe coding site if you use this form right here. Now, again, I know that took a little bit longer, but that is a little bit more complicated of how to interact and how to connect these things. Me personally, I just think it's probably easier just to maintain the same workflows that you're used to. So if you can, if you're going to be embedding surveys, calendars, forms, things like that, probably would be a good idea to just take the embed code that HighLevel gives you and then ask the vibe code builder, please insert this code here. And then when it inserts it, it's no different than if you're actually going to the website and dragging like a code element or HTML element onto a page, opening up that editor and then pasting the code in there and saving it. So it's basically giving you the same result. So anyway, hopefully that makes sense to you. And I just want to give you a few quick things about it, and including one of the new cool features I think was pretty awesome about the visual editor. So thanks so much. And guys, take it easy. Have a great day. Bye-bye.